Hi everybody, Lena Rodriguez coming to you from tomorrow in Australia. And yes, this is my old dinosaur computer, so you can probably hardly see me. That could be a good thing. Okay, so intrepid viewers, if you've made it across to this particular new type of reading, thank you. Any new people who are cruising by, I hope you like it. Okay, so I've been really busy doing classes and readings and packing to go away and stuff, and remembered I promised I'd do a read on Anthony Bourdain. So before we get any deeper into this, I have a confession. I am in love with a dead man. I'm so in love with Anthony Bourdain still. That might be a bit of a desperate statement. So I'm going to have a look. Anthony, why? He left a daughter. So let's see if we can find any answers to those. Oh, a huge Labrador's arrived, big as a Shetland pony. Get down, Lola. Who isn't the best behaved dog I've ever had, but we do love her. Go, Lola. All right. Let me focus here. Anthony Bourdain. Anthony, please. Tell us what it was about, Anthony. Oh, Anthony Bourdain. I think he was Tony to friends, but I can't think of him as Tony. I think of him as Anthony Bourdain. Right, so this is the general look first. Why did he do it? Come on down. The lovers. Something about his relationship was a bigger factor than I thought. I thought work and other things, but all right. So it kicks off with the lovers card. And this is the Fate Shifters deck, and along with a lot of other decks, it has a mountain between the lovers, and this represents the road of true love doesn't run smooth. There was a bit of paparazzi nonsense that went on with, was he having an affair with some other woman or whatever. I don't think it's about that. I think it's the primary relationship with the mother of his child, and it was causing him some degree of concern. Now, he gets the Magician card. I'm not surprised. This is a guy who himself has said on more than one occasion he wasn't a great chef. He was a cook with a drug habit who, just kept turning up to work. And then he wrote an article on what it was like behind the scenes. And that article, it was just for a chef sort of newsletter. And someone sent it to the New Yorker. And then the New Yorker said, this guy can write, he's bright, he's funny, he should get a book contract. And so he went from 0 to 1,000 really quickly. And I think that's what the Magician's referring to. But like many people, when that happens to you and your life becomes really different and radically different, you're just catching up. He didn't set out to write the blockbuster book. He didn't set out to have this hugely successful television show. It all just happened. And so it was his magic that made it work. He absolutely did that. But there's a sense here he couldn't quite take that fame seriously because he knew what a flawed human he was. Here's the Page of Pentacles. Now, I'm not judging Anthony for this. I think my generation, baby boomers generally, and he was a bit younger than that, but we're the generation that refuses to grow up, let alone grow old. And I think he was struggling with the aging process. All of this is interesting. I think the relationship and the aging process, hadn't thought about any of that. He still thought of himself in his own head, the red turban here, as a young man. and he was feeling his age. And I think if you spend or lose a couple of decades in the lifestyle choices that he made, I think you age a bit more dramatically too. I don't think he was feeling that fabulous, because this is Pentacles, which is also about the body. Right. I expected to have much more mental health things going on and stuff, but this is how he was feeling. This is what's coming through. What can I say? And he just felt in between battles, but more than that, do I have to keep doing this? I mean, he was shooting 250 days of the year or some ridiculous schedule, and it overwhelmed him, just the thought of having to keep doing this over and over. So even though we saw the edited highlights and he was in these fascinating countries and meeting fabulous people and eating wonderful food, in real life, there's a lot of waiting at airports, anonymous hotel rooms, being cut off from family and real friends. This is all those wands. I think he was really unhappy. Undoubtedly, you don't do what he did if you're deliriously happy, but it had deeper roots. And I thought that was interesting too. He was never really comfortable with his fame. So I'm going to go in hardball and say, Anthony, how could you do this to your daughter? Oh, I'm getting a bit of a download. I see him shaking his head and he's saying to me, oh, please, I hope she understands, is what I just heard. I hope she understands. Well, yes. But she was young, 11, 13, whatever. The poor thing. You know. So tell us about the relationship. I don't normally read on children, and I'm not reading on her. She's entitled to her privacy. I'm asking him as a father what went through his mind or failed to go through his mind in relation to that. Oh, bless dear. She brought him enormous joy, of course. That's fair enough. But this is the twin of that other one's card we just had of being embattled. So she's represented by the joy and the innocence of the young child and the son. But from his point of view, he couldn't channel into, she was too pure for him almost. I just heard too pure. He struggled, I realise this now, with what's called in some psychological circles, imposter syndrome. So someone who maybe becomes an overnight star and household name, and they think, well, what did I do? I just made a movie and they told me where to stand, you know. Or people who get promoted when they haven't really worked their way through the system and they feel they're undeserving of it. So although he had a big ego and knew he was smart and knew he could be funny to other people and all of that, he felt a bit of the imposter syndrome, particularly in relation to the purity of a young child. Oh, this, I could interpret this Seven of Swords in many different ways, but the one that sort of comes to my mind first is he does feel guilty about, this is the rip-off card, of ripping off her childhood. It's right beside the child, of robbing her of her childhood in some way. And I think it's right. I think guilt's probably the wrong word, because I believe on the other side, they don't experience the same emotions we do on earth. So I'm using the earth term guilt, but I think he'd be really looking after her. The victory, I think he's really working overtime, seriously, on helping her, being a bridge to her. And this is the card of the new leader. I think he's really going to help her find another father figure for her. In other words, he doesn't have any of that mortal jealousy or displacement or any of those other things. He only wants the best for her now. So on a higher level, the higher Anthony is really looking out for his girl. Oh, that's kind of gorgeous, isn't it? Now, I think we could squeeze out one more question from this in a sense. So I'm going to ask him on the other side, is he resting or working? We know he's working for his daughter, but in terms of his own evolution and how he sees things now from behind the curtain, or however we want to look at it, from the stars, whatever. So is he resting or is he working? Came to me as the question. Is he resting or is he working? Oh, the Magician came up again, and oh, we've got big cards here. Big cards here. All right, he gets the King of Swords. So what does that mean in terms of the afterlife, or however we want to describe it? Everyone has a slightly different vocabulary. I'm keeping it as neutral as possible. I think this is, his intellect is still intact in the sense he's still a bright man, but more importantly, the old Superman thing, what was it? Truth, justice, and the American way. I think the American way left him cold, but the truth and justice. So he's prepared to work for social justice, and he brings enormous power to the table here, enormous power with the Magician of transformation and manifestation. In answer to my question, working or resting, it's both. These are major arcana cards, right? So he is working and doing things towards social justice, but he also has the luxury of retreat in the space he's in. But it's not altogether off the hook in the sense of, here's the Ten of Swords. He's still working out where the betrayal came from, or betrayal of his gust for life. He's someone who actually, despite the drugs, despite the alcohol, had a low-key zest for life. He was a very cynical person and all of that. And he's still wrestling with that in terms of what he's looking at inwardly for his onward journey with all this. He gets the Four of Wands, which is building. So by this I mean, on the other side, he's aiming towards stability so he can accomplish more about social justice issues with the gifts that he has now. Okay. Oh, bless him for that. Oh, I'm getting all tingly. Oh. Now, guys, on your Monday night, I'll be doing a collaboration with Johnny, Tarot's apprentice. So have a look at Johnny's channel. Monday night, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a live stream. I'm not sure who else is on. If it's not on that channel, maybe go to Jen Lynn or so. But I'd go to Apprentice, Tarot's Apprentice first, 8 p.m. for a live chat. They're such fun. And they're good when you've got a few people on board, because 2 or 3 people can be reading cards and someone else can be reading the questions coming through. It's really hard if it's just you and it's live, but I think that format works really well when you've got a few people. So I hope you enjoy it and come along and check it out. and I'll see you soon. So soon, you'll hardly know I'm gone. So thank you to Anthony Bourdain. Take care, guys. Stay sane in the madness. Best of luck. Bye.